Tony D and Little Joan somewhere on the floor eating a bunch of treats I gave her earlier that she refused to eat and then suddenly decided, oh, I'm going to eat them now. Anyhow, this is the Wolfhound from Lionsgate, and I find it a very odd World War II movie. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 8 available at Amazon.com. Now, this is inspired by true events, which I'd say true events, like, okay, World War II happened. So the premise is some guys get shot down over enemy territory by Nazis posing as the RAF. So that's how they get up on the bombers and they shoot them down or force them down, I'm not sure. And then the Nazis have a plan to rebuild an American bomber, sneak it into London, and drop like a Moab on London and kill everybody, right? It doesn't sound like a real. Doesn't sound good. I mean, it doesn't sound like a realistic movie about World War II. It doesn't sound historically accurate. So he's captured. He's Jewish. He has like a Jewish cross on him, which, you know, they're using for maximum effect here. The whole thing feels a little contrived. That being said, it's pretty nice action. It's a little. I can't quite put my finger on it. It looks a little too slick in some ways. It's low budget, but it kind of between the music and see there he's wearing it there. It just seems a little ham-fisted. Like there's no subtlety to it. Now, at some level, I kind of appreciate that because it's just a movie. It's just an action movie in World War II, right? So this guy, he gets shot down and then he takes on a patrol all by himself. And I don't know, it's called Wolfhound. I guess the Wolfhound is one of the Nazis that's hunting him. But he turns the tables. And then at some point, the climax of the movie, I think, is they get the fake American bomber in the air and he has to shoot it down before it gets to London. So this is Make a Difference, June 23rd. So it feels like a World War II movie made by Michael Bay a little bit. But it doesn't quite have the budget of a Michael Bay. Although they seem to have all the planes. They seem to have all the planes, which look very new. Which they should look new, because in World War II they were new. But the movie itself, there's something odd with it. And I'm just going to say it. The guys playing Germans don't sound German at all to me. They sound like guys doing German accents. To me. You know. They're not even the cartoony, well, we will see if you will talk. They are like, they aren't even that. What I just did was closer to German than what it sounds like to me on this. Now, that being said, they do look menacing. So it's this weird dichotomy of like hits and misses. The last great war. Yeah, you hope. But I can't tell if I like the movie or not. I kind of like the action. From the visual effects team behind The Matrix Resurrections and Real Steel. Well, that explains some of it. And Pacific Rim Uprising. Okay, that explains some of it. Interesting. I mean, because some of the visuals are very good. The music seems it's like almost too epic and too modern for the war. If that makes any sense. I mean, this looks good. It's obviously not really on fire though. Like this is added effects to make it look like it's on fire. But it looks pretty good. The Germans are mostly sinister, I guess. This guy's a little too, I don't know, he's a little too baby-faced, I think, for the role. He doesn't feel seasoned enough to be able to do this. He seems like the guy who should be the sidekick of the guy who actually kills everybody. Like Bruce Willis should be the lead. That's what I meant. Or like this guy. He looks a little older and seasoned, or maybe even this guy. Um, the the POW scene didn't seem all that real. The set didn't seem real. So I think they got a lot of Hollywood actors. I mean, this guy looks menacing. He looks menacing. I didn't like his accent though. And this doesn't look like a POW can. It looks kind of like a hangar, which I guess it kind of is because they end up going after the plane, and there's a scene where they come back with the plane and strafe a bunch of Nazis. So that's kind of cool. I mean, there's cool stuff in this. I think I would see it, and I think I would be okay with it. I think it would be mildly entertaining, but it feels like it's over posturing, I guess you would say. It's like a Michael Bay film, but done about World War II. And that those two things don't quite go together. Like, they shouldn't be doing catchy one-liners in World War II. You know, you shouldn't be like shooting Nazis and going "Hasta la vista, German" or whatever. Like that it's very 80s, but it doesn't seem to fit. So would I watch it? I think I would watch it on Netflix if I was I really wanted to watch a movie and I was bored and there was nothing else. I know that's not a very strong endorsement, but like, you know, this would be pretty far down on my list, but I would watch it. You know, it's not a movie I would want to watch, but if it was like convenient for me to watch it at that moment, I would watch it. Right? I think I would kind of like it, like parts of it. I don't think I would like the ending, and then I would look it up and probably find out it was total fiction. It doesn't feel, I guess it's just not genuine enough for me. Like, even Inglourious Bastards, which I always complain about, had a certain a certain grittiness to it that felt real, at least in parts. It felt like, you know, the Germans were in control, and then, you know, it didn't feel like a movie. It felt like excerpts in scenes from the war, and then towards the end it got ridiculous. But, you know, some of the scenes were like pretty realistic. This feels like an action movie set in that war. Like, you would just change the location, change the technology, and it would be the same damn movie. Except you would set it in the Middle East. It would be about some pilots who get shot down during, I don't know, the Iraq War or something. And then, you know, he'd be hunted, and they have to stop Saddam Hussein before he drops a bomb. Like, you could place this you could do the same thing in Vietnam, probably, or, you know, really any war. It doesn't feel like it's specifically a World War II movie. So, I know I'm being very sort of all over the place with this, but I feel like I can't quite watch the trailer. You tell me. And again, I'm not really knocking it. I mean, there's a lot here. It's just, it's kind of a stupid movie when you get right down to it. Because to me, if you're going to do a movie about World War II, if it's going to be fiction, it has to be super obvious that it's fiction. This isn't totally obvious that it's total fiction. And it says inspired by true events, which indicates to me that there probably is a kernel of truth here. That maybe the Nazis had a plan like this on the table, but maybe didn't get this far and they're exaggerating it. Or you either want to make it realistic or make it, you know, do like, I don't know, like vampires and you know, World War II or something like that. You know what I mean? Something that's so fantastical, you can, you suspend your disbelief. You don't worry about the facts of the war. Whereas I feel like this is trying to portray some event, some true event in the war, and it's kind of overblown. Not kind of, it's overblown. Like, it's too much like a Hollywood action movie when it should be, it should be more genuine, right? I don't know. This guy seems like look how clean he is, right? He's clean shaven. He's got a perfect tank top on. Like, yeah, he looks like an action hero from an 80s movie. He's got his gold chain. He's got a watch. You know, it's like he shouldn't look this good. He just got shot down in a plane in Germany. Like, isn't it cold in Germany? What is it, summertime? I mean, seems to me he'd need a jacket or shirt or something. You know, but they're showing the rippling muscles of their lead, I guess. Like, wouldn't you want to put on camo to blend in with the surroundings? Like you're in a war. Wouldn't you want to put on your uniform? Like you're not hiding doing this. In fact, you got that watch on. Like, cover up the watch. That's going to glint, right? You don't want a sniper to, oh, I see something, eyeing you up. You kind of want to, I mean, they didn't have good camo back then, but they had the green, right? They wore green for a reason, kind of blend in. So it just feels off somehow. I know. I'm not making much sense. So first act, these guys are going to war in planes. They see some RAF guys. They mistake them for regular RAF. They're actually being flown by Nazis. They get shot down in a big dogfight. That's very manly. Then the Nazis recover the bomber parts. This guy is a one-man wrecking machine. He's going after the Nazis. I guess he's fighting World War II all by himself. They got a secret plan to bomb London. He finds out. He frees a bunch of people. He kills a bunch of Nazis. This is what Inglourious Basterds should have been. This is what I wanted to see in Inglourious Basterds, right? By the way, I wanted to see the Inglourious Basterds kill Nazis all day long. For like half the movie at least. Instead, they wasted a bunch of time doing nothing. So there's a bunch of crazy gunfights, and then the third act, the climax, is the Nazis get the plane off the ground. They got to shoot it down before it gets to London. That's the big thing, which I don't think could possibly be true. I don't think that could possibly be true. That the Germans had a big bomb and this crazy plan, and they almost pulled it off, except one guy stopped them. No, that does not ring true at all. Like parts of this are true, and of course it's going to be this guy that he shoots down at the end. You know, the guy who beat him up the whole time. So it's called Wolfhound. I know I've overanalyzed it, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. When's it coming out? Let's see. Trevor Donovan, James Maslow are the actors. Oh, right. June 3rd. Make a difference is the tagline. Maybe one man could make a difference. Maybe. I don't think that happened, though, in World War II. I think there were a lot of people. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check out our Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble pages. We've got a news blast and a Hollywoke hot take. I'm going to go sleep now because I got to get up for the Philly Comic Con tomorrow. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you tomorrow.